Do you love wildlife? I do. I love watching them. I love going inside jungle and interacting with them. I am at Abhayaranyam now, but I am not going to talk about Abhayaranyam. I am going to tell you a story about Africa. It is the story where I first time enjoyed African safari. Please watch this video. I had this itch for travel, and Uganda had everything for a travel lover to exploit. I really enjoyed every moment that I lived in Uganda. This is the story about Murchison Falls and my first safari in Africa. For my first wildlife experience in Africa, I was traveling with a group of friends. But much before our journey, we had arranged everything that was required for our trip. We booked a van that was perfect for wildlife watching. It was special with an openable roof, or maybe better to say, an expandable roof. By standing inside, we could get a better view through the gap. We started off from Kampala pretty early in the morning and traveled through different landscapes to reach Masindi. Masindi is a small town in Uganda, but most probably it is the largest town between Kampala and Murchison Falls. The town had everything that a passerby traveler needed. We stopped at Masindi for our lunch that day. Though we had completed a major portion of our journey, we were not there yet. The next 44 kilometers from Masindi until Murchison Falls were thrilling. Some were tarmac roads, but the majority were murram roads. Finally, we were at the gates of the largest national park in Uganda. I don't remember, there is an entrance fee. I don't remember how much it was. But one thing is sure, the entrance fee for foreigners was higher than locals. That's what I am remembering. Nearby the park, there was a kiosk that showcased several handiworks, and most of them were the creations of local community. We walked inside the kiosk, browsed through the kiosk, but we did not buy anything because the price was slightly higher. So after paying the amount, after taking the pass, we went inside. Inside the national park was a single-lane mud road with medium-sized bushy plants on both sides. At one place we stopped to view a valley that was lush green like a vast ocean of plants. Like most other travelers, we too went directly to the top of the falls. The view was spectacular. The sight of River Nile piercing through a gap of just 8 meters to tumble 43 meters down amused me.
enjoyed the natural spray from the roaring Murchison Falls and lavished ourselves on the rocks around for some time. Our accommodation was arranged in Red Chilli Rest Camp. They had both bandas and tents. Bandas are quite like cottages with bath attached to them. But our preference was to stay in tents for a real jungle experience. Next day, quite early in the morning, after a quick breakfast, we started off for the game drive or the safari. For experiencing the game drive, we had to cross the river.
Standing on the banks of River Nile, that feeling, River Nile, the longest running river on the earth.
We waited on this side of the river for the ferry to come and take us to the other side. Soon we were inside a ferry crossing the river. On our way, we saw two schools of hippos. A group of hippos is known as a school of hippos.
Everyone started taking out their cameras and going for capturing that school of hippos. I too took out my camera, but there was not enough space. I went inside and started pushing. Our driver told me that, "Why are you so much worried about this small group of hippos? You're going to see many more."
On the other side of the river, we were welcomed by baboons. They welcomed us to the animal kingdom. We started our game drive, and that was through a vast savanna. The edges of the savanna touched the horizon, far and near to the sky. Then came a group of buffaloes. They were wild African buffaloes. Seeing the buffaloes, our guide, who was also our driver, passed a comment.
These are African buffaloes. They are not like your Indian buffaloes. We don't drink buffalo milk. Actually, they don't domesticate buffaloes as well as elephants. I never saw a domesticated elephant or a domesticated buffalo in Africa.
Next was the turn of antelopes. Many varieties of antelopes with different colors and difference in size were grazing in the savanna. After antelopes, it was a show of giraffes. The tall creatures from Africa roamed freely in the jungle. Some had light golden patches, while others dark brown. The variation puzzled me, but we continued our journey until we reached the edge that projected into a water body. That was the end of our route. We were very happy seeing so many animals in their natural habitat, but elephants and lions? There was a tint of disappointment as we had not spotted a single elephant or a lion during the game drive. We had the luck to watch plentiful animals and a few species of birds. After relaxing on the banks for a few minutes, we returned. On our journey back, the driver took a sudden turn, and within a few meters we spotted two elephants. The joy that we had has no words to express, but the animals were not so happy to see us. Even one of them charged at us. When searched around, we identified the reason for their hostility. A large troop of elephants with their calves were grazing in the savannah. Not very far from the elephants was a bushy plant, and under the shadow was a royal couple, the lions, and we were content. The driver took us very close to the lions, but they did not bother us. They were leisurely relaxing on the meadow, maybe a bit romantic too. So, that was a perfect conclusion for our game drive. We crossed the river for our lunch at Red Chilli, but to return for further entertainments.
That's it. That was the end of our safari in Murchison Falls. There are more to do in Murchison Falls. We did boat riding too. About the boat riding, you can watch our video on next Friday. But if you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe now.